We are the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the Unitarian Universalist congregation with no geographical boundaries. We believe in cultivating curiosity and transformation that is rooted in profound love.
For over 85 years, the ministries of the Church of the Larger Fellowship have circled the globe and crossed the walls of prisons. We are a spiritual lifeline for our over 2,000 members in prison, who are also connected to individual Unitarian Universalists through our letter writing ministry.
In our online community, we offer weekly worship, classes, and groups. Our monthly magazine, Quest, supports the spiritual lives of thousands around the globe. We know better than anyone how deep and meaningful connections can be formed even from a distance.
We are proud to be a leader in this faith movement, and we invite you to get involved in our ministry. We strive to be a place where anyone from anywhere can find spiritual refuge anytime they need it. Welcome to the Church of the Larger Fellowship.
We are so excited to bring you an all-new episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, known affectionately as The View.
The View is a weekly Unitarian Universalist talk show discussing important faith-based topics from an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, and multicultural perspective.
Since 2013, we have gathered every Thursday from September to June to welcome guests from around the world.
Our guests are writers, scholars, activists, and religious thought leaders who are shaping Unitarian Universalism and society for the 21st century and beyond.
We hope that today's show inspires you. We hope it builds your faith and gives you perspective to see the power of Unitarian Universalism at work in your life.
Welcome to The View.
Hello, I did it. I'm Aisha Hauser. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to our season finale of The View. I come to you from the land of the Coast Salish people, also known as Seattle, Washington. Or when I was living in Colombia and I flew here, they called it Seattle. The woman giving me the ticket said, here's your ticket from Cartagena to Seattle. So welcome all. It's bright and sunny here. Dante, unless DC shows up, and maybe he will, it is me and you. Hi, Dante.
Hey, y'all. Good Reverend Dr. Dante Hilliard here in the land of the Council of Three Fires, made up of the Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi people, also known as Chicago, Illinois, USA. And we've been a little overcast and cloudy with sprinkly rain. Like, it's been 70s all week, so hasn't been super warm. But baby, Oya, so for those of y'all who know who Oya is, she been in here twirling her skirt. We have had trees downed, like,
oh wow,
yeah, like we've had winds over 80 miles per hour in the last week or so. So yeah, there's a lot of tree damage. So
are you in is it Tornado Alley, or is it, because I don't think, do you get hurricane? I know this is
up until maybe the last 10, 15 years, tornadoes don't come into cities. It's only been recently that we've started seeing tornadoes touching down inside, because usually cities, large cities, because of the skyscraper, it breaks up the wind too much for
right.
But the winds were really high over the last week or so, couple days. So yeah, you can go outside and see a lot of tree activity on the ground.
Wow. So Dante, General Assembly's happening. I did go to the business meeting, or at least some of it. I did vote, but I'm not going to the main GA. For one reason or another. I'm not super excited about the Ware lecture, but hey, as long as I think some people are. She's the bishop who told Trump to be nice, but she also both sides of genocide. So she is not. I mean, she cares about U.S. poor people and tragedy here, but not about Palestinians, and so that was a little bit of a damper for me. So I was like, but I do want to talk about. I don't think you're a host. I don't think Chicago's a host city. Seattle is one of the many host cities of the World Cup. Now I want to say I was one of the naysayers.
We have Kansas City in the Midwest.
Kansas City, gotcha. I was one of the naysayers, and hi Rita from Italy, yay! Hi, Rita's here from Italy. I was one of the naysayers about the World Cup. I was just being a grump about it, and I will tell you, I have been pleasantly surprised at it. Somebody said I've been following some of the stuff on social media, especially folks from other countries who've discovered. The Europeans have discovered Waffle House. The people who've discovered Buc-ee's, and it feels like a sleepover. And then my favorite story, Dante, my favorite story, two of them. One is Lawrence, Kansas, welcoming with open arms the Algeria team. What? I mean, in a way, I don't know if you've seen any of the stories, and those of you watching, listening, please Google the Lawrence, Kansas welcome of the Algerian football team. Oh, it is the stuff made up by Hollywood. It is so sweet. The university in the town the band learned the Algerian national anthem.
Oh. Well, good for them being hospitable. It doesn't hurt. Isn't Philadelphia a site too, a host city?
New Jersey. I don't know Philly. I think New Jersey is the closest there. Boston, where the people from Scotland they ran out of beer in Boston.
I heard something about Europeans discovering things like Philly cheesesteaks and chopped cheeses, and
that's right. It is hilarious, and people online, and even I felt this way. It's like we needed to remember. Here's the thing that somebody made a very good point, because when people from the United States, not all obviously, but there's a certain segment of wealthy people who travel and are obnoxious, entitled. Mm-hmm. And so they're the ones who get the attention in Europe, right? Or in other parts of the world. But folks came here and got to interact with literally people who may never travel to Europe or another, and are sweet and kind and helpful. And that part is beautiful.
Yeah. And that means there are lots of, never mind. I'm going to say it. That means there are lots of beautiful legs walking around everywhere.
Legs,
because football players have gorgeous legs. They do.
No, I agree, Dante, and I remembered that you are a Scorpio and a gay man, and you appreciate things the way I do. I just didn't expect it. I love it. And also, because this is still the United States of America, we need to talk about a 1-year-old who was murdered in a Walmart parking lot in Mississippi, because this is because what the fuck? Like over nothing. Like, what are you doing shooting into a car over shoplifting? So there's that. It is both things happening in the same day.
First of all, I worked all kinds of retail. Well, I worked in every fast food store. I also worked in grocery stores. And we were always told, don't risk your life over a loaf of bread. Like, if somebody, it doesn't even make sense. So why are you shooting at someone for, what? A $10 item, a $20 item? Like,
she paid for it. Cohen Wiley is the 1-year-old. There was no shoplifting. There was a receipt. It's even worse. But even if there was, to your point, even if there was, what the fuck is that? And so it's the gruesomeness, and almost like that happening on the same week as the World Cup. It's so indicative of the human experience in violent extractive capitalism?
Well, so those of you who are super fans may know that we had a special General Assembly worship last night with a focus on how to embody our Unitarian Universalist values. And Aisha, myself, and Reverend Dr. Michael Tino all did reflections back to back. And somewhere toward the end of worship, it hit me. So I love dystopian post-apocalyptic movies. It's a thing. It's been a thing for years. But last night, something hit me in the middle of worship. I was like, we live in a dystopian world. So people keep trying to convince us, Empire is trying to convince us that this shit is normal. This is not normal. We live in dystopia. When children get shot in grocery store parking lots, when our young people, again, I am in my 50s. I have never had to dodge a bullet in my life. And we have generations of young people doing, who've had not just active shooter drills in their school, like they've had to hide from gunplay at school. We live in a dystopia.
I mean,
and we're going to have to admit that
yeah.
Other than, because even what we call natural disasters, many of those are human-made, right? With like the climate. Most of the suffering on this planet, well, I charge anyone to point to a form of suffering and oppression on this planet that is not connected to empire.
That part.
All of the isms, colonialism, imperialism, sexism, patriarchy, heteronormativity, all of this shit, all of it, white supremacy, xenophobia, extractive capitalism, it's all empire. Okay.
Because there is this narrative, it's so wild. Humanity can cure things that killed humans, like humans didn't make it till 5 years old, right?
Sure.
Now there are what the elderly like over 100, like there are many people over 100, right? And yet, like we can support people medically and people can thrive, but we've created a system and told ourselves a story that there somehow it makes sense to have a trillionaire. Somebody I was because you all know I'm on TikTok too much, but I came across an Australian environmental activist named Natalie Kyriacou, Kyriacou. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put her website I'm going to share it in the chat. She talked about she says, we can learn a lot from nature, which Robin Wall Kimmerer has written about, a lot of people have written about. But she said trees cannot hoard sunlight, water, and resources and nutrients. That's not allowable. Like a tree survives in connection, interconnectedly with other trees. Penguins, form a circle so no one gets overtaken by the sub-freezing weather, right? So they take care of each other. There is this system of care inherent in nature, or else you die. Elephants are a matriarchy. And yet,
what is it? Humans, viruses, and bacteria are the things that just lose their minds. Just will take over.
But it's
everything.
True.
Live out of harmony, live out of balance.
Say that again. Humans, viruses, and bacteria.
Viruses and bacteria. I think
it's true. I'm just saying with the pain of that and the grief, but it's true.
I think we behave more like a virus or a bacteria than we do anything else that lives in our ecosystem.
Ooh, I have in the last few months I have been kind of asking different people that I'm around, like, what is the problem with humanity? Like, what we do know better, we do, and yet, because one of the other things about the World Cup is Boston not only has the Scots, but they have the Haitian team is there, and people are getting along. So without the narratives of the parasites and the cancer of the ruling class and the oligarchs telling us that somehow there's something wrong with people from a different place or a different shade, we actually, our inclination is to lean into each other, is to care, is to be. It's a narrative. We have to unlearn care.
Yeah.
That's not our default. Does that make sense?
No, because I've been doing some contemplation work about spiritual growth and development. And so much of the way that we talk to people around spiritual growth and development, ethical growth and development, is we talk about things like resilience and learning lessons, overcoming obstacles. And what I think we need to recognize, and we need to be more clear about it, most of those obstacles to human thriving are not natural.
No.
They come from empire.
That's right.
So imagine who we could be. Imagine what this world could be without empire. Without where women and femmes and anyone on the margins don't have to live in hypervigilance about being raped or murdered every day.
Yeah.
Imagine what humans could accomplish. This is why we can't access more than 10% of our brain, because we'd be too damn dangerous in this.
And I wonder if we can't access because we're in constant anxiety. Because we don't live in a society that's caring. We just don't. And yeah,
we are just the empire. This is my theory. The whole theory of empire, because it's not a new playbook. It's very old. Keep us so okay. Donald Trump's service as president is the example of how empire has always functioned. Chaos, gremlins, demons, keep us busy, keep us occupied. Hold on. I think that's my plumber, so I got to step away for a second. You can pick it up.
Okay. You are not. Dante's going to go meet his plumber. Yeah, I think we can lean into changing the narrative of empire, but how do we do that, right? Because empire is so violent. And this chaos, the UFC fight on the White House lawn, it truly felt like the movie Idiocracy. We didn't even talk about the UFC fight on the White House lawn.
Why should we? Because again, this is the presidency that y'all wanted. So you got it.
Oh my God.
Y'all got it. Y'all got MMA happening on the White House lawn. You got Evel Knievel, monster trucks. Okay, that's what y'all wanted. But Barack Obama couldn't wear a tan suit. But that's okay.
Could not wear a tan suit.
That's okay.
I mean, and here's the insidious, I don't even know, there's many layers. Barack Obama tried to play the game, was very much supportive of the ruling class, was not a radical president by any stretch of the imagination.
And they still called him an NI.
And they still vilified him. That's exactly right. That it didn't matter.
What the guy invoked Michelle Obama's name the other night, being messy. Did you hear about this?
Which is so weird. Yes. I want to talk about, yes, thank you, Rita. I meant to talk about Albania. So do you know what's happening in Albania? Have you heard about that island?
I've seen some footage.
Yeah. So because they really do think we're stupid, they being the ruling class. So Ivanka Trump gives this interview that clearly is made up and staged, because she's like, and we were on our friend's yacht, and bless their clueless fucking hearts. But she's like, and then we discovered an island in the Mediterranean. And it's also not in the Mediterranean, but okay. And we walked barefoot up a mountain. No, you didn't. None of that happened. Anyway, it turned out that they bribed somebody in the Albanian government to create a 10,000 bed resort or some shit. So the Albanian people are like, no, the fuck you're not. Thousands and thousands of people every single night. This was the straw that broke the corruption back of what's been going on in Albania. And people have been pulling that thread. This is going back years that they, because it was a protected wildlife preserve, that entire island. And it belongs to Albania. She didn't discover anything. Fucking weirdos. And so now the people of Albania are like, you are not doing this. And they have been out in the streets saying absolutely not. So
oh yeah, I mean, I've watched it. I mean, here's the thing. I am convinced that the age of empire is quickly coming to an end.
Quickly, yeah.
And I think we're seeing so many signs of it. And but I think our job is to, keep working on the parts of empire that live inside of us.
Exactly.
And really work on the world we want to replace it.
That's right. Which I think is happening. I do. I think in the US, I think people are now, leaning into Block, leaning into community care and mutual aid. That's what I meant to say, mutual aid. And so I think that is happening. I think people, like what happened in Albania. Thank you, Rita. That was a very good point. Like as soon as people find out, because the oligarch, the ruling class, has given a vast majority of the planet nothing to lose, nothing. And then you have Israel now wanting to take over Lebanon. What? And why? Why? I know why. I don't know. I have no words. It's wild. And people are still defending genocide, still saying that somehow this is going to keep the Jewish people safe. Okay. I don't even know what to say anymore to say about that.
If we think about, I know you and I are both Scorpios. We are both people who understand energy.
Yeah.
And how, so whether you're spiritual or not, if you're scientific, energy is energy, right? It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It just changes forms.
That's
and
right.
Empire, in some ways, it's like, for all my witchy people, it's kind of like the biggest spell, the biggest graphic spell of all time, right? Keep people tired, confused, isolated, anxious, working. When I lived in DC, I commuted from Baltimore to DC. That was 2 hours door to door each way. So that was 4 hours.
Wow.
8-hour work day. That's at least 12 hours of my day was related to work.
Right.
So if we're supposed to sleep for 8 hours, what does that leave you?
Right.
So yeah, our systems are not regulated. We're exhausted, generationally exhausted, generationally traumatized, generationally sort of in stasis, if you will, right? Like we don't even have the time or the energy to access the things that we're supposed to because we're alive. Joy,
right. That's
fun,
right.
playfulness.
That's
right. Like people are literally worried about their next meal or whether they have a roof over their head in a world where there are plenty of resources for everyone.
Everyone. Why does a trillionaire exist? Come on. And he's the most mediocre fucking dude.
Because they know that they are destroying things and they think that by the hoarding of resources and money, which is funny because money is not even real. It's like made up, right?
Made up.
But by hoarding the resources, they will be able to protect themselves when shit hits the fan in their little bunkers or by going to Mars or the moon. But as I saw a reel and someone was like, they can try, but what we know is the rich will eat themselves. Because
yeah.
So you're going to put all of that ego into tightly closed containers? And you think that people who have not even tried to live righteously because they feel like their money and power allows them to not, and then they're gonna lock them in to bunkers or on the moon or something, and we think that that's gonna go well?
It's hilarious. And mind you, these are folks that have not done anything on their own for themselves.
Right.
Who are they going to convince to come with them and take care of in what war? I don't know.
Yeah.
Rita says folks in the US need to look beyond their borders to see how other countries create community. I mean, I think what's interesting about that, I mean, yes, and right? Because there are people who do have community in the United States. I think the people who've been robbed of it are white people. Like, I think the idea of the nuclear family, the discouragement of multi-generational places and living, and the, saying kids have to be out of the house at a certain age, that's a very white US centric mentality, capitalist mentality, right? Because there's more money to be made by your child going out and working and paying a landlord or whatever. But communities like when my family came to this country, my dad was part of a community in New Jersey that started the first mosque. You could speak to the experience of descendants of enslaved Africans. There are inherent communities that have to, almost like the penguins, right? Kind of shield each other or work together to survive empire.
Right.
But
I mean, that's why we're here. Yeah.
That's here. But I think there is like white people discovering the joy of community during the World Cup has been like really wild. I mean, it's been heartwarming, and also there's a grief there. This was always open to you. But you believe the lie that we need ICE, that we need somehow to be this society needs to be anti-Black, that there's the lie of meritocracy, that there are people who have bought into the lie of supremacy thinking. Fill in the blank. Ableist supremacy, white supremacy, hetero supremacy, male supremacy, also known as patriarchy. So supremacy thinking is the way that empire maintains itself. And when you believe that lie, then you disconnect from community, I think.
Well, and supremacy thinking in mass may not be seductive, but there are always components that we get seduced by. Parts of the myth, parts of the lies that make us feel empowered. And often we hold on to or cling to, even though we know it comes at someone else's expense. But, it's just like, I just want to hold on to this one, right? I just maybe just this part, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because either we are all the same, either we're all worthy of value and we're all here, because people keep saying, what is your purpose? Or what if the purpose is for us to be on this planet in this ecosystem is simply to experience what it's like to have a body? What if that's our whole purpose? We're energetic beings. All energy doesn't have a body. What if our purpose is just to experience the joys and wonders of being embodied for a period of time?
And then the horrors are an aberration, but we're making the aberration
the thing.
Separate.
Yeah. Like, you gotta, again, so, in Black community, we're training our kids, you gotta be twice as good. So we're training children from zero, right? Like, which is, again, I understand why I was taught that way. because it was being really realistic about what the picture is.
Mm-hmm.
But the picture will stay like that unless we do something about it, right? So I'm working twice as hard. I'm constantly trying to prove my worth. I had an experience. My first time I went to Puerto Rico was in 2003 or 4. And I'm in Puerto Rico. We're actually scouting a location to bring our students. And I'm walking down the street. And there's a man walking towards me, who I assume is Puerto Rican. And as we get close to each other, he starts speaking to me in a broken, Americanized Spanish. And I'm thinking, and I speak back in English, and he goes, "Oh, hey, brother." Because, yeah, I thought he was Puerto Rican. He thought I was Puerto Rican.
That's great.
And we were both Black Americans, okay?
Right.
And it hit me suddenly because I felt so at home in Puerto Rico and I couldn't figure out why. And it was that incident that I was like, for the first time in my life, I am somewhere where people assume I belong.
Ooh.
I don't feel that way in the contiguous United States.
No, same.
I feel like I'm always being observed. Like, why are you here? Right? But in Puerto Rico, everyone assumes that you're Puerto Rican until you prove yourself different. It's like, it's like I'm just Puerto Rican until I speak really bad Spanish.
Same. Same.
But that's one of the reasons I love being in Puerto Rico, because I never feel a need to justify my presence.
Yeah.
Or, step back in the elevator so the white woman can feel more comfortable, or all of the behaviors that we do, not because we think you're better, but because I just want to live my life and I don't want to deal with this bullshit. So I'm just not going to even give you the excuse.
Well, you're in danger. That's the problem. If you're in an elevator with a white woman, right, you're in danger. Not in the way that society has told that white woman she's in danger, right. And has, right?
Yeah.
Because there is this. Well, I don't have to explain to you, but and I think that's the thing that's so fascinating about humanity and human beings. We can all thrive, all 7 billion of us, but there is this narrative that not all 7 billion humans living on this planet, we are the same species, quite literally, are deserving. And that is a story. And we can always tell ourselves a different story. When I still see people defend oppressive systems and say, oh no, you have to work. Trees don't have to. The work is in upholding each other, not in so that you could survive. The work is, what does the community need? Not, I need to work so I have shelter and I have medical care. Like, that is perverse.
The last day of creation wasn't the establishment of empire.
Ooh, say that.
Empire is not natural. And it's not always has been. Humans actually existed outside of this imperial system that we are under now. This has not always been, and they keep trying to confuse us. Like this has always been the case. It has not been the case. Humans existed for a really long time and did things. Communities where people didn't have jobs, you had roles.
You had roles.
Somebody's going to help grow the food. Somebody going to help harvest the food. Somebody help build structures. Somebody makes textiles. And we all have the things.
And we
might barter. We might trade. But yeah.
There was oh my God, and I'm going to butcher it because it's not always at the forefront of my remembrance. There was an anthropological study of like an ancient human where there was evidence of surgery and care, that something happened to this human that left them disabled, but they also lived past that injury or disability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which to me, it's like, why were anthropologists so surprised? Because we're so anti-able, we're so just, what is it? Ableist in this society that we think people who have any disability are of less value, because that is a modern way of thinking. So anthropologists are making this discovery like, oh my God, humans took care of each other. Of course we fucking did. We wouldn't have made it this far.
Well, and if they were black or brown people, well, again, white people would rather believe that aliens built the pyramids than accept that just some Africans did some shit that they don't know how to do.
I mean, it is so insulting. Oh my God.
Like aliens? Right? Like it's okay.
So insidious. The anti-blackness is so deep, and it's so insidious, and it harms us all. And so, yeah.
Speaking of anti-blackness, have you been keeping up with the all of the fallout of the Rick Chow verdict?
No.
I believe Asian American, I think maybe of Korean descent, but anyway, there was a child who got shot coming out of an Asian store in a black community, died.
Mm-hmm.
They accused him of stealing something. Again, it's one of those, I'm pretty sure that he didn't, but he was accused of it. But even then, they went out the store, chased down and shot this child. Okay, so he got off. He got acquitted. And so black folks rightfully have been in an uproar, right?
Yeah.
And so then some activists began to call for a boycott of Asian businesses in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
And then that turned into several Asian American folk making some really incendiary videos about you black in blah, 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 and we don't need y'all and we don't da, 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 da. So, so then the more enlightened members of the community had to be like, first of all, we're not entitled to black people's money. They don't owe us their money. They don't owe us our businesses, their patronage. Here, the truth is most of our businesses have been built in their communities. What have we given to those communities?
Right. Wow.
So there's a whole thing happening right now. Again, anti-blackness is real.
Where did forgive my ignorance, Dante, where did this happen?
I can't remember where the Rick Chow thing happened. Let me look it up.
Was it LA?
I don't remember, but it's been a mess. But so that conversation is really spinning all around. If you go on TikTok, it's gonna be all over.
Yeah. The insidiousness and the denial of anti-blackness, especially by immigrants. And let me tell you, my community is not immune. Arabs, they make me crazy. And I've,
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. South Carolina. I don't know why I thought LA. But anyway, so Gracie, somebody's at my door now. So you do a monologue. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. We're going to take turns, Peaches and Herb, here today. So looks like we got a couple active folks in the chat too. Where are y'all joining us from? I know we have some of our European friends here, but where the rest of y'all from? Italy. Rita is here from Italy. Where the rest of y'all from? I'm here in Chicago. But y'all, this is our 499th episode of The View. So, and the last show of this season, our finale. But when we come back in the fall, we're going to have it'll be our 500th episode. So that's going to be a thing.
My neighbor is going to Italy and wanted to drop something off. So,
all right, Maryland. I moved from Baltimore just not even a year ago. Pennsylvania, Central Illinois. Yeah. Okay. Which part? I'm originally from East St. Louis, Natalie.
Oh, Catherine's in Louisville. Yay!
Oh, also, y'all. the service that we did last night, the special GA service, is going to be made available for other congregations if they want to use the virtual service. So be looking out for that. Check out on the website. You can always find it on our new beautiful website, clfuu.org. If you haven't been to it since it's been updated, you should check it out. It's pretty nice.
And that, I mean, speaking of which, our website, I'm going to put it in the chat. Abolition. we abolition to me is when we talk about it, the red herring is, well, what do we do when, and fill in worst crime made? Although, okay, what we deem as criminal in empire is a moving target. It is not fixed. Because empire can go to war, can decimate entire communities, companies can exploit and have slave labor in insert predominantly Black African country, name Congo, Sudan, not to mention what's going on in the Philippines. I mean, that's all that is legal and reasonable for empire, but the system that we have here, that individual, again, a 1-year-old was shot because the role of police is to subjugate Black and brown people and protect property in the United States.
We right. Empire protects things over people.
Protects things over people. That's right. That's right. So that is, when we talk about abolition, it is a holistic conversation about the kind of society we want to have. Again, especially in the United States. But here's the thing, like we are the belly of the beast of empire, of modern life. We have, the world has never seen anything like the United States. And I mean that in a bad way. We have 750 military bases all across the globe, right? This is an insidious, heavily armed empire. And so the people who are moving out of here, which makes sense. I mean, we have Rita in Italy. Hey, Rita. And we have a lot of people all over Europe and all over the world who are expats. But the thing is, we still impact what happens everywhere on the globe, for good and ill. And unfortunately, right now, it's more ill because of, the Strait of Hormuz supposedly is going to open, but Iran is saying, until Israel gets out of Lebanon, we're not changing anything. But, who knows? It's all a game to these people.
And, a lot of Black Americans are moving abroad. It's a huge movement. Black folks are moving to Thailand and all different kind of places. And I think it's beautiful I think humans should be able to explore the planet. Like, that should be 100%. Part of what it means to be alive. But unfortunately, I'm not so excited about exploring this because anti-Blackness is global.
Yeah.
And as bad as shit is over here, I know that I have a community of people to help me sort of make it in this.
Yeah.
Going to a country where I'm one of a few Black folk, that doesn't feel safe.
Right.
As long as anti-Blackness is global.
Right. Exactly. And and that's the thing. The insidiousness of what we've exported is global. It just is. And so there are I did an OWL training once with folks from the Philippines. And I remember one of the UU ministers said which I don't know why I didn't know this. I guess I did, that there are skin lightening creams that are sold in the Philippines. And I think I read about it in Ta-Nehisi Coates' book when he went to Senegal, that they sell these skin lightening creams.
There's a whole group of women in West Africa they call Fantas, because they use so much of this bleaching cream that they have an orange hue to them.
Wow.
So they call them Fantas. Yeah.
Wow. And that's anti-Black. That's all that is. It's not. There's
because why would anyone bleach their skin unless there was an incentive to be lighter?
Right. Unless there was some kind of perceived gain. And that's the other, I don't, it's like layers of insidiousness. When we don't encourage each other to be authentic and to live in authenticity, there, it's a lie. So I, if I lose 30 pounds, if I, whatever it is, like, for
Mhm.
trying to lean into wanting to look younger or wanting to be thinner or wanting to whatever, what am I gaining? Somebody who thinks who only likes me because I'm thin or have blonde hair or have like
More value. That our value is a thing. It's not who we are. It is a thing.
Yes.
It's a commodity,
Yes.
right? I had a friend, Asian American woman. We worked together for years, and we were talking one day. It was like near her birthday, and she was like, and I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "It's your birthday." She was like, "This every year this time, my mom calls and offers me eyelid surgery," and I was like, "What?" Like I'd never heard of this. I didn't know that eyelid surgery was a thing. But she was like, "Oh, it's a thing in many of our communities," and she was like, "And every year my mother offers me,
Wow.
and asked me if I wanted to have the surgery," and I was like, "Wow, oh, okay." I mean, there are things in every culture, like we know that, but those things are not natural. That's
No,
what we need to.
right.
They're not natural.
That's the point, is it's not, it is wanting to buy into some narrative of some marketer of, and mind you, modern marketing came from fucking Freud's kid who worked with people, ad agencies in the 50s and 60s on how to manipulate people into wanting stuff, into
Mhm.
buying things. So it is all made up. It is all made up to, encourage us to spend more money so we could support the oligarchs.
Mhm.
To what end? We are hurting our society. We are literally the only species on the planet that is hurting the thing that will keep us alive. It's up for debate. It is up for debate whether or not we have clean water or clean air.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh.
Let's see. Eyelid
Oh.
surgery was a big high school graduation gift. Wow. In the 1970s in Honolulu, where I grew up. Wow.
Wow.
Nicole, wild.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, yeah, I didn't know it was a thing until my friend mentioned it.
In Egypt, it's hair straightening. I mean, I'm sure it's more than that. I haven't been to Egypt in many, many years. But when I was younger and I would straighten, my family did not, they said your hair is messy. And I'm like, Dante, I will talk about my hair. And I would have, if I left my hair like this when I was younger, if I was in Egypt, my family would say, "Oh, you got to go brush your hair. You have to go comb your hair," and really meant straighten your hair. So I didn't learn to love and appreciate my curls until I was an adult. Oh wow, Nicole. Some gals who couldn't afford the surgery just used Scotch tape to create the eyelid crease. Oh, because we want to be accepted, right? Because that's what we were told would make us feel loved. I would straighten my hair because my family kept telling me it was messy. And now as an adult, I love my curly hair. I have to do very little to it after I shower. But it took me a long time to appreciate my hair because I was told it had, straight is what's beautiful, not curly.
How is it that a group of people who only make up 10% of humanity establish 100% of the standards of what is good, beautiful, acceptable, right, just, justifiable? How is that possible?
because Reconstruction failed, because
That's in America now, because that shit is real across the world.
And it is real across the world because we exported it. Hollywood, we exported the definitions of what beautiful is, right? Once cinema went global, Egyptian cinema is big in the Middle East. And when I watch Egyptian movies, they're very much modeled after Hollywood. So the women are thin, light-skinned, straight hair, not as many blondes because it's still Egypt and Africa, but now they dye their hair now. But so I still think it's the US is the center of that thinking because we exported it in a big, well, yes, starting with England and white supremacy and the British Empire, Portugal, and Rome and Catholicism. I mean, yes, empire, the OG. Well, we can go back and look at many empires throughout history, but the one that seems to persist and is now, the child of the British Empire is the United States, that's now taken it to the worst levels.
Yeah, but I still believe, I am crazy enough to believe that we can have something better.
I do too.
I decided if I'm going to be delusional, I'm going to have a delusion that benefits the world.
Me too.
I'm just crazy enough to believe it don't have to be like this, and it ain't got to stay like this. And I'm going to keep working every day to live different, to be different, to experience this world differently. I'm not getting back on the hamster wheel of corporate America or the nonprofit industrial complex. I'm not interested in any of that. I want my life, we keep talking about work-life balance. That's some dumb shit. Life should be at the center of our life, not work.
100%. 1,000% agree with you. What does that even mean?
Yeah,
what is
work-life balance?
No, life, thriving, joy, love, connection, laughter. Oh my God. I had in Seattle. I know that this happens other places, but I got more into game nights in Seattle. So I had friends over on Saturday. And Dante, when I tell you, we played a game called Radical Queer Witches, which is a much more woke version of Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
When I tell you we were crying, it was the kind of therapeutic belly laugh where you are in tears and you could barely catch your breath. That is what we're here for, is to remember whose
laughter,
we are.
love, connection. But most of us are so busy just trying to not be dead.
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly.
And
that's by design. To go back to your original point, that is all by design.
Yeah. But it's a game but we don't have to play this game. We can decide that we don't like this game.
That's right.
And there's more of us than there are of them.
Way more. I mean, honestly, if we could manage to do a general strike, we can end this shit in a week.
Isn't there did I read a news article about there's a country where people's just like, we're not going to work. We're not doing any of this shit. We're just like, no.
I hope so. Is that not Albania?
Is that happening in Albania?
I don't know. I don't know. If anybody knows, let us know, because I haven't. I don't know. I only know of the national scale protests. But hey, yay, countries that people are in solidarity and saying, screw this crap. I think that's great. Affirm and promote from the CLF.
He was just like, we're not doing it.
Mm-mm. No, yeah. So what's our, by the way, my friend Deanna got me the t-shirt that says, what is it? Evil
never sleeps, but the righteous need a nap.
Evil never sleeps. So I now have proud owner. I don't have it on right now, which I meant to put it on, but I will wear it for our season opener. So
the Baltic countries. Okay. Thank you, Rita.
Yes, it was one of the Baltic countries. That's excellent. I think, man, if we can even get a quarter of this country to shut everything down and to we all stay home for a week.
We're not paying our taxes. We're not going to work. We're not doing none of this shit.
We do. It's, yeah, because I don't know that they have a plan except brutality. And by they, I mean the oppressors. I do not think there is a plan beyond oppression, violence, brutality. It's not like there's maybe there is, and I'm just missing it, but I feel like it's just a form of control.
That's the whole point. That when leisure is a luxury, we know something's wrong.
Ooh. We know something's wrong. That's right. That's right. When leisure is a luxury, we know something's wrong, and this is not the way it's supposed to be.
No.
And Catherine Childs, outgoing president of the Liberal Religious Educators Association, is wearing the same shirt as me. You are loved. One of my very favorite t-shirts. I get many a compliment. I don't know if you do too, Catherine, when I'm wearing it, more than even the shirt that says protect trans kids, which used to be the one I got commented on the most. Now it's this one. I think people want to feel loved, Dante. I do. I think people want to know that they are loved just the way they are.
I agree with that. I do. But unfortunately, we've also been severely miseducated about what love is.
Ooh, say more. In 5 minutes.
So again, we'll just go with the Hollywood thing. So many people have these overly romantic notions about how love, so that you can treat me all different kinds of ways and abuse me and ignore me and engage in toxic behavior, but then one day show up outside my house with a boom box and a wedding ring, and now we can let it all go because you asked me to marry you. Like, how many stories have we seen like that?
As if romantic love is again, supremacy thinking is the supreme love.
Right. Or that love is supposed to hurt. If it's supposed, or that jealousy is love. Jealousy is not love. It's insecurity, and I don't want it. Like, right. I don't want that. Right. So yes, we do want love, but I do think we are severely miseducated about what it is.
And Catherine said, "What is love? Baby, don't hurt me." Baby.
That's actually one of my favorite lines from the Black Panther. There's a whole part of Black Panther where they refer to that. But yeah, I think we all want to be loved, and we want to be loving. This world makes it dangerous to love and dangerous to be loving. Because you never know who's going to be the agent of empire that's going to come for you. Because like the Matrix, anybody who's not intentionally woken up can be an agent of empire.
Ooh. Listen, and on that note, your Signal chats are not safe because the U.S. government has filed federal charges against ICE observers in Minneapolis. And they use so among big Signal chats, somebody turned them in. So just know, if you are in a group of more than the people you have known for many years, there's just be pretty sure there's a plant in there. So just not to paranoid anyone, just to say know who your people are. And I am so grateful you are my people. Thank you all who've been super fans all season. Dante, you know you're one of my faves.
Yeah, Peaches and Herb together again. Peaches and
Herb. I appreciate you so much. I send you all so much love. It is our season finale. We will be back in September. Have a wonderful, blessed summer. Lean into joy, beloveds. Lean into
find leisure, find rest, find playfulness and laughter, as if your life depends on it.
Because it does.
Ah!
Amen and ashe.
Amen. Take care, y'all.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us. Special thanks to everyone who gives generously to this ministry. It is because of you that this ministry is possible.
Visit clfuu.org/give to make a contribution.
We hope you will join us next week for another episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism.